Welcome to Retail Retold, the stories behind how that store landed in your neighborhood. I'm Chris Ressa, in conversation with the people and stories shaping retail and real estate. Brought to you by DLC. Welcome to Retail Retold, everyone. Today I'm joined by Melissa Tinsley. Melissa is the Director of Real Estate for Unleashed Brands. I'm excited for her to be here today. Welcome to the show, Melissa.
Thank you so much, Chris. I'm excited to be here.
So for those who don't know, Melissa, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. So I've been in commercial real estate about 18 years. Recently was at Tropical Smoothie Café for 8 years and made the change this year back in April, so about 6 months ago, to come over to Unleashed Brands and support the growth through Urban Air and some of the other brands that Unleashed has under their portfolio. So a little bit about Unleashed Brands, 8 brands under the Unleashed portfolio. Unleashed came together about 4 years ago um, to really be kind of the premier company that supports kids-focused brands. And so some of those brands you'd recognize, like the Little Gym, Sylvan Learning, obviously Urban Air, and then a recent acquisition, Water Wing Swim School. And those are kind of the 4 active brick and mortar brands that we're working with right now.
Wow. And I didn't know that was the thing, that was the concept, that they were focused on the, being in the kids space. That's
Yes.
super interesting. And it is the largest physical presence Urban Air today?
Yeah, actually, the largest presence is going to be Sylvan Learning. From a square footage perspective, Urban Air is certainly the largest and takes the most space. The smallest footprint is going to be Sylvan, but they have the largest footprint across the United States.
I got it. And so the you spent a lot of time at Tropical Smoothie. What got you excited about Unleashed Brands?
Yeah, so, loved my time at Tropical Smoothie. I think for me, seeking that next challenge, that next career challenge was a big focus. And I've always been kind of intrigued about entertainment concepts, specifically Urban Air, which is one that my kids absolutely love. We've been customers for years, and so joining Unleashed was an easy decision for me, and getting to focus on development for Urban Air. I will say it's been eye-opening what it takes to get a big box deal done, especially one that is as complex as Urban Air in the adventure space and just all that goes into it. So it has certainly been a challenge, but I'm really enjoying the opportunity to see where we can take Urban Air.
I have a tip. You probably know this tip, but you ready for the tip?
I'm ready.
So obviously ceiling heights are a significant challenge, right? For Urban Air, right? You're jumping on trampolines, got to be high. You got all these things going on. Oftentimes, it's more cost effective and physically easier to go down versus raise
Mhm.
the roof.
Yes, and we have learned that.
So I've learned that the hard way as well,
Yes.
as being a trampoline park entertainment use landlord, where sometimes the best path to figure out how to get the clear height you need is to go down, not up. So
Absolutely, yes. So thankfully, our design and engineering team is extremely creative in determining where we can dig pits versus where we have to raise the roof. So
yes,
I leave that to the experts, but we have definitely come up with some creative solutions.
yeah. And are all the brands growing right now?
All the brands are growing right now. The biggest focus, I would say, from a brick and mortar perspective, is going to be those 4 that I listed just earlier, and then we have a couple of other brands: Snapology, XP League, and a couple of others that are growing through mobile avenues. So it's an interesting opportunity for someone. It's a lower investment. You're not actually looking for a space, it's just a mobile concept. And so, sometimes what we're seeing is those are paired well with a brick and mortar concept.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what are those brands? What is Snapology and these other brands?
So Snapology is what you can think of as like it's a STEM type concept. So kids can come in and learn about building and engineering, a lot of Lego type um, classes and things like that that really kind of teach and educate kids. So we have kind of the education pillars within our brand, and then also the active, like the urban airs and the water wings and the little gym. So Snapology is just a good example of one that's a little bit more focused on learning. And then urban air is going to be more focused on the active.
Got it. And you know, the trampoline park had this huge run, right? This entertainment where we had Sky Zone, Urban Air, and all a bunch of other brands. What is I don't know if you could tell us what is like the state of the and I know this is the not the word that the users like, but the trampoline park industry today. What is the recreation entertainment space for kids? What is the state of the market today of that?
It's definitely becoming more competitive. I think urban air has transitioned from just a traditional trampoline park into what we like to call an adventure park. So,
Adventure
what
park.
you're going to see at urban air is you're still going to get the trampolines because a lot of kids still really like the trampoline aspect. But what you're going to find is a variety of attractions. Um, one of the top and favorite attractions is the Skyrider, which was created by our founder, Michael Browning. And so that's certainly a favorite. And that's kind of a zip line. When you walk in, you see the kids flying across. That's the that's the Skyrider, and that's one that we desire to put into every park. And that really is what drives those ceiling heights, in order to have enough gravity for that ride to operate. So that's a great one, and then you're gonna see just the Ninja Warrior course, the climbing walls and just a wide variety of attractions that really makes us, unique when we're looking at some of the competitors that are out there.
Got it. And the are all the brands franchise driven?
Yes, we are primarily franchise driven. There is some aspect of corporate development, where we see, it makes sense, but the majority of our growth currently and going forward will be driven by franchisees.
And in the is an unleashed franchisee a one of these big private equity groups? Is it the multi-unit, multi-brand operator? Is it the local entrepreneur?
All of the above. I have so far seen a very wide range of franchisees. Urban Air is certainly going to drive more of the bigger type investor franchisees. Multi-unit probably have multiple other businesses, and this is another avenue of investment. But there are some Urban Air franchisees where they are owner operator in the park. It just kind of depends on what they're looking to do. Some of the other brands like the Little Gym and Sylvan and some of those that are a lower investment could be more of the local owner operator that lives in the community. But we
Got
certainly see a wide variety.
And of the four core brands you named, are they're all opening new locations right now?
Yes.
The So one I've known Sylvan for a while. I didn't know they were on the path to growth right now. That's exciting to hear.
Mhm. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, they're actively growing. The Little Gym is actively growing, and then Water Wings is a new acquisition that we're ramping up now.
Interesting. And that's in the Goldfish Big Blue swim school space. That's the
Yes.
competition zone there.
Yes, they'd be very similar to those brands. Yep.
And from a real estate perspective, do you work on all the brands or do you work on just one?
So our real estate team, we have a team And we divide and what I like to say, we divide and conquer. So my focus is urban air. My counterpart, Brian Kunkel, who's amazing, he focuses on Sylvan and the Little Gem. And then our founder, Avi, who actually founded Water Wings, is currently handling the real estate right now for Water Wings.
Got it. And urban air, is there a market focus? Where are you guys looking? Is it all over the country? Is it just in certain spots?
We are actively growing across the country. I would say, I'm handling all of urban air across the US. And I would say the biggest push right now has been on the West Coast,
Interesting.
specifically Northern and Southern California, where we have a lot of active franchisees, a lot of active site searches, and multiple parks under development. So we're really, really excited about the West Coast. We are also very active along the East Coast and up into New York and New Jersey. And those areas are extremely active.
If if you bring one over into northern New Jersey, you will my kids are 7 and 8 years old, and they are fans. I don't know
That's
if you heard,
awesome.
we yesterday we just announced we closed on an acquisition in California, so of a 9 center portfolio. So our first West Coast venture.
Fantastic. Well,
I'll have
well, Chris, we have a deal working with you right now that we're really
yes,
excited to get done this year. So
yes, I am excited too. That is a big one. That's for everyone who doesn't know, that is a former Big Lots. For those who don't know what's going on with the Big Lots in the world, one of the uh, beneficiaries of that brand going away is Urban Air taking
absolutely.
space.
We
Yes.
have a couple of big lots working and some other big box vacancies. It's
Are
definitely a big one.
what out? You guys have such unique site criteria. Outside of the site criteria, ceiling heights and all that good stuff, is there how are you finding, the market landscape today? Is it, we hear a lot out there that it's a tight market and it's tough to find good quality space. Um, but what are you seeing? What are your franchisees seeing? What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, I think in certain markets it's definitely tight. You know, you still have in some of those markets that are really active and competitive, the vacancy rates are pretty low. Um, I I think over the last year or so though, I wouldn't say that available real estate is really the biggest challenge. We certainly are finding real estate. Um, some of the, I guess, challenges that we face in actually getting an urban air transaction done is, some of the site criteria, right? With what we talked about earlier, but it's also all the other steps that go into um, being a tenant in a large shopping center, the waivers, the zone changes, demising costs, just all the other pieces that go into getting an urban air deal done those are really kind of the challenges that we're seeing today versus just available real estate.
So you guys have executed well. You're in shopping centers across, so you've gotten waivers. People
Yes.
have, right? Landlords have gotten waivers. You guys have gotten waivers. Uh, it's a use that historically wasn't contemplated being in a shopping center and therefore oftentimes needs consents from other anchors. How are the other anchors viewing you now as a co-tenant? Do you guys have any sense of that and what that's like?
Yeah, what I'm seeing so far, and again, I'm newer to the team, but what I'm seeing on deals so far is that most of the anchors are open to our use. We're not seeing a ton of pushback, although there is still some pushback when it comes to parking, or just the overall, is it going to affect their business. And so I think through those analysis, as long as they're not feeling like their business is going to be negatively affected and they understand who we are, we're going to draw a lot of people into the center. We're going to draw a lot of families. We're seeing more positive, and we're able to receive those waivers.
I mean, I would think you're a fantastic draw, right? we're gonna go. We're gonna, we're most likely gonna, you know, drop the kids off, and then we're gonna be at the shopping center, and we're not gonna go
Mhm.
home. There's a
Right.
lot of ancillary shopping we should be able to do and really benefit. And like you said, I think it's a demographic that everyone likes, right? It's families, it's disposable income. I think that's really important. So I feel that it's a super complementary use in most retail centers, and I'm excited for you guys to continue the growth that you're
Thank you.
on. Yes. What else do people not know about the trampoline park world that they probably should know?
I think it goes back to, thinking of urban air and kind of transitioning the mindset of urban air as a trampoline park and really looking at it as more of an adventure park where you do get this wide variety. We have some competitors coming into the landscape right now that are focused on one type of activity. And so we think that um, and a way that we can set ourselves apart is that we're more of an adventure park. And the name is well known, but I think we still have to continue getting our name out there. You'd be surprised that a lot of landlords, especially smaller landlords, have never heard of urban air. And so, while that seems surprising to those of us that have known urban air for many years, we still have, a lot of educating to do on who we are and really how we've transitioned from just a trampoline park to an adventure park.
It's a great distinction for sure.
Mhm.
Is there an age range that you guys dial into more than the other brands, or is it all kids?
It's all kids. I think our primary focus is 4 to 14. So we're really capturing that elementary, middle school age range. And then as they get a little older, honestly, we would look for them to come and be one of our amazing associates at the park. They grow up at Urban Air and then they want to then transition into working for Urban Air. So I think there's a lot of kind of cool aspects to that too.
Got it. The 4 to 14, have you guys found any, like, co-tenants that help you out that you think are good co-tenants for you when you look at real estate?
I would say over the last, say, 4 or 5 years, urban air generally has transitioned from more industrial areas to more retail-driven areas. So, our focus is really anchored shopping centers, grocery centers. Um, we wanna be convenient, but at the same time, we're still a destination tenant. So, we don't necessarily have to be, up on the main road as long as we're within the main trade area and the traffic. So, other retailers, restaurants, grocery, what most other national brands are looking for.
Got it. Melissa, you have to give me 1 second.
Oh,
1
you're
sec, I'll be
fine.
back with 2 seconds, I'll be back.
I'll be right here.
You wanna laugh? This'll be
Yeah.
a laugh. So, my we have a built-in microwave, and it just stopped working.
Oh, no.
And so I call the people are like, "Oh, you just get a new microwave because, like, microwaves aren't that expensive." Ours is a little expensive, but also finding the right one. Like, if they don't have the model that matched all your other appliances, you really need to fix your
Right.
microwave. So turns out I need this thing called a Magitron.
Oh
That's
no.
what was broken. Here's what I could tell you. Magitrons, unfortunately, just aren't like sitting on shelves.
No.
Either you can't like get them on Amazon or Home Depot or these places that easily, or at least the specific Magitron that you need. So the microwave repairman guy is here today, and he's putting in the Magitron. The thing
Right
I would,
now, as we speak.
as we speak,
Okay.
so what I would say though is, here's what was shocking to us. We use the microwave way more than we ever thought possible. Microwave for our family is clearly a big necessity that I we took for granted, right? Anything that needed to be like heated up out of the fridge, like you're
Yeah.
gonna do if you're gonna have leftovers, well, now
Mhm.
you got to turn on the stove, put on the pan because you can't put it in the microwave. Um, you your coffee,
Mhm.
it got cold, you want to heat it up. Well, that's done. Can't do that.
You
And
use it
so
more than you think.
you use the microwave more than you think. Um, so, um, so we are getting back to it. Um, so that's super helpful. You've moved from this industrial to retail focus. Um, we're excited about you guys coming to the location where working with you on. How has that been working with DLC?
Great. Yeah, I mean, I think we're eager to get it wrapped up this year. I think that's the focus is the end of November, which would be fantastic. And that franchisee has been very hands-on and engaged. And so I think it's just been a breath of fresh air to have everybody involved in the deal is hands-on, motivated, working towards the same goal.
I think you just hit the nail on deal making. When when both parties agree that the goal is the same,
Mhm.
and when both parties end up focused on achieving that goal, I think deals move. They're the deal that everybody, people walk away with, okay, maybe I didn't get everything in the deal I wanted, but it feeling much better about the deal. I think it's when people have different goals, when someone wants the deal by X date, or someone wants this in the deal, and it ends up getting signed, but like it's not the greatest taste in your mouth because at the end of the day, not everyone was aligned to the same thing. And so I'm excited to hear that um, everyone's focused on, getting this signed in November. Everyone's aligned and motivated to get it done. And I think that leads to much better deal making than when that's not the case.
Right.
Um, in So for you, and we can use this deal as the case, is the roles and responsibilities that you're doing much different than Tropical Smoothie? Every franchise brand operates differently from a real estate perspective. How is it for you?
I think overall the processes are pretty similar. No matter what size space you're looking for, the basic real estate process and the basic onboarding process for a new franchisee to bring them through real estate to an executed lease is fairly similar. The differences I've seen are going to be more around site criteria.
Okay.
We engage in design much sooner because it's extremely important that the space works and not only works, but is a good layout. And so we look at design a lot earlier. So that's maybe a change from what I'm used to. Um, and the process takes longer. So everything takes a little bit longer. The engineering of plans takes longer. Um, Leases take a little longer because it's a much more complex and much more larger investment. And so there's a lot more thought that goes into, every point and every deal point because it does move the needle quite a bit on the financial aspect. So some of those differences, but for the most part, a lot of the process is the same.
The Yeah, the design, that's a good point.
Mhm.
a lot of columns in a space doesn't work for you guys, right?
Right, right, and we wanna have a site visit completed prior to signing the lease to verify those conditions because it is so important, and so that's something that we'll do,
Yep.
sometime during the lease process.
And the how many locations do you guys think you'll end up opening this year and next year?
This year, we're aiming towards just over 20 new urban air locations, and then next year we'll grow from there. So, closer to 24, 25 new locations next year. We're going to continue to expand from there. Um, as we all know, the openings are driven by the leases executed. So, we have to continue driving our pipeline in finding and securing that real estate and then moving it to an open park. So it's just continuing to grow our team and support, bring on, amazing new franchisees or grow with existing franchisees and how we can expand our pipeline and ultimately open more parks.
Well, I I'm loving the concept of being in the kid space, the adventure park. We're excited to get our deal wrapped up with you guys and continue to grow with you guys in the portfolio. Uh, you've been your team's been great to work with, and really, really appreciate it. And
Thank
keep
you.
rocking, Melissa,
Thank you so much, Chris. And I have to give a shout out to our amazing master brokers who I know you know at Metro Commercial.
for
They
sure.
do an incredible job supporting all of our urban air franchisees. And so just a shout out to them.
Awesome. Totally. Yes, we know them. We use them. They help us for sure. And not just in this capacity. So, uh, total shout out to them. Well, Melissa, this has been great. I really appreciate it, and I hope the holiday season treats you really well.
Thank you so much, Chris, and I appreciate the invite.
Yes.
Appreciate you watching. Hit subscribe. See you in the next one.